All right, so we're looking at a value expressions value intuition. So we have to determine how does a value either increasing or decreasing for a variable affect the overall expression. So sometimes they're fairly straightforward, sometimes they're not. So for example, if we add a together, it will probably always increase as long as the variables are positive. So a plus a, if we put in, say, 5 for this, it goes to 10. If we make a 10, it keeps increasing. Now, if we do this one, though, a minus a, 5 minus 5 equals 0, 10 minus 10 equals 0. Here, the value increases as a increases. Here, as a increases, it stays the same. It doesn't change. So, sometimes the values go up on the overall expression. Sometimes they stay the same. You just have to plug in a few numbers and test out and see what happens. So as a increases, does it increase? As a decreases, does it decrease? Or does it stay the same? So let's look at this one. 3D. So what happens when D increases? So let's just pick a number. 3 times 5. That gives us 15. 3 times 10. That gives us 30. And so if D is increasing, then the overall expression increases. Now, what happens if D decreases? So you want to pick a number like 20. That gives you a value of 60. So as D keeps going down, now we go down to 10. That gives you 30. Now if we go to negative 10, that will give us negative 30. And so as D is decreasing, the overall expression is decreasing. So once again, pick a value to start at, plug it in, pick another value that is either above or below it, depending on how D is going. Is it increasing or decreasing? And see what happens. So let's look at another example. So this one, R divided by 5. Let's see what happens when R increases. So pick numbers that work well with 5. Don't try and make fractions or decimals. Just pick nice round numbers. So like 10, 20, 30, and go from there. So if we start at 0, 0 divided by 5 is 0. 10 divided by 5 is 2. 20 divided by 5 is 4. So as R is increasing, the expression goes up. Now as R is decreasing, so we're going to start with, say, 50. 50 divided by 5 is 10. Now, as R decreases, let's go down to 40. 40 divided by 5, it equals 8. 20 divided by 5 is 4. Same as that, but this time the pattern, because R is decreasing from where we started, is going down. Next. Well, here's one that's slightly different. We need to pick a value for E. So we're going to start with E equals 1. So when it's increasing, we'll start with E equals 1. So this will give us 3 times 1 divided by 1. 3 times 1 is 3 over 1, which is 3. Now let's try 2. 3 times 2 over 2. That will give you 6 over 2, which is still 3. Let's try one more and see what happens. Let's try 10. So 3 times 10 divided by 10, that gives you 30 over 10, which is still 3. So as E increases, what happens to your overall value of the expression? It stays exactly the same. It doesn't increase, it doesn't decrease, it stays the same, which happens sometimes. Now, let's plug in values for E when it decreases. So this time we're going to start with E equals 10, and we'll just work our way down. So 3 times 10 divided by 10 gives you 30 over 10, which is 3. Now let's do 4. 3 times 4 divided by 4, that gives you 12 divided by 4, which is still 3. So once again, no matter what value you plug in, and no matter what's happening to the expression with the variable, is it going up or down, the value just stays the same. So now this one's an interesting one. You have 50 minus x, and we want to know what happens when the value increases for x and what happens when the value decreases for x. Now, as the value increases, so we have 50 and let's say x is 10 to start with. So 50 minus 10 is 40. Now let's try 20. 50 minus 20 is 30. Now let's try 40. 50 minus 40 is 10. So as x is increasing, the overall value of the expression is decreasing, which is different. Usually it's proportional, so as one's going up, the other one's going up. But in this case, it's the opposite. That's what happens when x is decreasing. So let's start with 50 minus 40. Now, as 40 is decreasing, so first we started with 40, now let's try 30. So 50 minus 30, now it's 20. Now, let's try a smaller number. Let's try 0. 50 minus 0 is 50. Now, what's the number smaller than 0? Say negative 10. So 50 minus a negative 10 minus a negative turns into a positive, which now gives you 60. So as x is decreasing, your overall expression is increasing. And so these are the type of things you have to look out for and try. It's not too hard. It's basic substitution, but you do want to try multiple values as you are increasing the variable or decreasing the variable to see what the overall pattern is. So it's not just a one number, oh, I think I know it. Try a number that's bigger, try a number that's smaller, and see which one gives you a pattern of increasing, decreasing, or staying the same. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me. Have a great day, and see you next time.